Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Unreal Engine live learning stream. We're going to be talking about MOBA AI.
Well, actually, we're going to be talking
Ian's
about
going to be
a
telling
lot of
jokes
things.
just before we start, as
Yes,
always.
exactly. Because I mean, we got to start. We got to start with the laughter.
Oh, yeah.
Keep it loose. Keep it fun. All right.
All right,
So,
yeah.
what are we actually going to be talking about? Well, one, I want to finish up movement on the MOBA stream. We kind of got it mostly kind of not working last time.
Oh no, we got the lanes. And
Well,
all
we
that,
got we got the lanes in, but they all were going to one lane.
Yeah.
Well, it turns out that we had exposed some stuff for spawn, and it wasn't being set because we were using for spawn AI.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're no longer going to do that. In fact, I've already made some fixes. We're going to walk through them here in a sec. Well, no.
Well,
Hold on, bro. Jesus.
Okay, I'm sorry.
So after we get that, we're going to show you what you did. Got that working. I have another project I've been working on, which I
Right.
have an interesting, well, what I find to be interesting, a fun little debug macro for Navmesh I want to show off. And then I am still looking for, it's going to sound really odd. I'm trying to find my Twitter login so I can find this forum thread. It had a question, and maybe he's in the
Yeah.
channel right now. But you sent me, it was like a month ago at this point, where you sent me a question where it was, hey, I want to have AI interact or understand the environment when they're trying to path to somebody. So if you have teleporters, right? Like, well, if the player teleports, do you want the guy just to turn around? No, you want him to go through the teleporter and follow you through. Or what about doors, right? Like the player can close a door,
Yeah.
and then the AI has to, repath through the door or whatever. If you know who you are, well, you should know who you are. And you asked me this question. If you were in the chat right now, totally post up the forum thread. We can jump in there. I'd really like to actually get in there and talk about some of that stuff because that was. It suddenly occurred to me. It's like, oh man, this would be a great live stream thing that we should do.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then if we have any time left, of course, we have standard Q&A and some other fun stuff that we might be able to get into.
Yep. Yeah,
So,
I went
anyway.
ahead and threw the call out for any Q&A, so just put it in chat if you're watching us live, and we'll be able to take it by the end, and make sure that, it's got to be kind of on topic. We can't answer things from out of left field, but anything doing with
Or
AI
can
or
we?
blueprints or whatever.
Or can we?
No.
No. Okay.
No.
So anyway, so let's go ahead and jump in the editor here. So what we did last time is we had them basically following one path, and I got them shortly before. Oh, wrong side. Those guys, they're broken. We're not going to talk about them right now. But I got them working, so they are now following their lanes. Okay. So what happened is we were spawning AI. Which
Mhm.
there's a specialized node for spawn AI. So let's bring this over here. And pay no attention to this. This is because this math up here is borked somehow. And the team one, the other team is not setting their team or their waypoints aren't being set correctly. So if we look at spawn AI from class, and we put in here our minion, you'll notice that we actually don't get anything for, and I'm going to double check here, there isn't some weird fancy node, thing where add, spawn, expose spawn, but there's not. We don't have any of our expose spawn stuff, and we kind of need them. So I swapped this to a spawn actor.
Yep.
Which gives us our team and our lane. Avoids spawn stuff, and really, we're spawning at the spawn point, so there's our transform information. And we're still adding it to the array of things that we're going to be dealing with. So great. I mean, this works really well. This did not work so well.
Just because of the variables
we need those
That's
variables in there. And doing this, we had to make some other minor adjustments to like the minion. Where's the actual minion controller? Basically, we had to make sure that we were just running the behavior tree. So I fire off the behavior tree early on. And just to make sure the math is working out, we are setting our move to location key vector and our initial move to actor, target actor, within the minion AI controller on possess.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit of spaghetti. I literally did this just before the stream started here. So let's
Clean that up just a little bit, so it'll
little bit. So
help
we'll
with everyone's sanity.
so
But yeah,
so people aren't
it's a
trying to stab me.
pretty simple get the 0 element of the waypoint, feed it
Yeah,
right in.
so we're just making
Nothing
sure that
fancy there.
everything's set up okay. Last little thing I did was within update target, just to double check, we are going to always update our target actor whenever this fires. If it doesn't update, it really doesn't do anything. It's not like we're changing our move to location. So this solves another minor issue where they weren't updating at the very beginning. They wouldn't move. So with this done, our guys now do what they're supposed to do. They try to walk down their lanes, but they only do it for team 0. We need to get them to do it for team 1. But if we hit play here, we'll notice that I'm spitting out a bunch of data over here on the side. Basically, you can see a bunch of waypoints, but then a whole bunch of -1s and 4s and other kind of junk starts popping up. More than likely, the -1s are we're not feeding back into the team over here correctly, which means our waypoints aren't being set within our game mode. So if we come into our game mode and
but if we watch those values for the team number.
Yeah, so team 1, lane 1, we can see, yeah, there's nothing in there. There's nothing in there. But if we look at these guys, oh no, hold on. Where? Oh, nah, because I need to debug one. Ah, okay, so we have waypoints, and we have nothing, nothing, and nothing. So why do we have nothing? Because we should have something.
Yeah, there should definitely be something we're feeding into that.
Unless this is turning negative. If this is ever turning negative, then absolutely not. We don't have anything. So, waypoint counts, again, a bit of review here, is being set over here.
You want to put a comment around that?
Yeah, we'll put a comment around what this actually does.
I'll believe it when I see it. That's right. Oh, that's right.
Oh, commented. Okay, so what this does is we simply count the number of waypoints in a lane.
Mm-hmm.
Count number of waypoints in a lane. So that when we pull our lane information later, so for each loop, we're pulling our lane data. Lane, hey, how long is this chain of waypoints? -1, so that should give us our max -1. And then we minus off the waypoint number, which then should set the array element on these and size to fit our secondary arrays. But apparently this is coming out negative. So let's go ahead and we're just gonna, I'm gonna do a branch right here. Because I'm super curious as to what's coming down here. And we're going to do if less than 0 branch. This really doesn't matter, and we're just going to print out a debug string. Print string. And we're going to add an append. Lane short, and we're going to have it print out basically why our math is terrible, which I'm sure there are a number of reasons why our math is terrible. So we'll hit play, and yes, they're negative. They're all negative. Let's bring up the developer tools output log. Oh, where did it go? Oh, there we go. Had to load everything. Still loading everything? Okay. Scroll up here a little bit. A bunch out of bounds because our dudes are trying to do stuff they can't do. And there it is. So it actually starts out lane short, -1, -2, -3, -4, -5. So yeah, we're backwards here for some reason. So let's see what our initial values are. Compile, play that. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay, that's bad. So something right here not working. Oh, I wonder if it's this. Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, I think that makes some sense. So we're just going to get this, and we're going to +1 it, like so. I think that's something I thought might be wrong with it. The increment node.
Can you move that to the other
Oh, geez.
Can't see what you're
Sorry. I'm a little out
Sorry.
of it today, guys.
What are you doing? I'm missing it.
Okay, sorry. She's like, ah.
Yeah, just repeat what you just did.
Okay,
there.
so what we had here, let's just back it out. Oh man. So we have an increment node here. Increments are passed by reference. So it's actually like getting this, adding it, and then attempting to reset this, but this is a get node. There's nothing here to do anything with. And I think if it's starting to re-reference it after the fact, it doesn't actually do anything. So we just end up with zeros. Because it would be like, it's almost like this is just occurring without this ever happening, right? Like, this doesn't care. I mean, it's passed by reference, but there's nothing to reference. There's no variable here. It's just a get node. So we'll just go ahead and do this the old-fashioned way of, +1. And I'm pretty sure I actually ran into this when I did this the first time. Long before the stream. So if we go ahead and do that, compile, play that out, and did anything display? Well, I don't care. Everybody's moving. So winning. All right. So both teams are now officially moving down the lane, except for, what are those? What are you guys? Why you no go? I wonder if we choked out pathfinding or something. Well, I don't really know. I'm going to kind of assume at this point it might be some of the pathfinding stuff. We might have tried to pathfind too many things at once. And easy way to get around that is we just, either A, lower the number of minions that we have, or B, kind of spread them out so they're not all attempting to pathfind on the same frame. Let's escape and let's hit play again, see if we get a same group of guys. I just don't want to do anything. Those guys are moving. Okay, no, it's the same initial wave, or is it all the guys on this lane? It appears to be everybody on this lane. So this lane isn't being, oh, yeah. I bet you guys know what it is, don't you? See, if Alexander hadn't snuck out of the room, that's right.
Getting called out.
Getting called out. You might have been there and be like, yo, you had this thing that was doing this true-false thing that might not be passing through correctly. And yeah, you'd be probably right there. It's probably that initial lane. So we actually don't need any of this stuff anymore. Nothing was printing out, so this should be setting correctly. But I don't know. Let's try that again without the branch. And nope, they are still being janky. Why are you being janky over there, guys? Let's see here. I mean, there's nothing different that we're doing. Are we... Connect, done. All connected, done. All connected, done. Team 1, lane 1, 0, 2. All size to fit, all executing. Okay. This is getting +1. Lane should be a 0 to 1. Debugging for fun and profit. Lane 1. Lane 0. Come down to the far end here. Maybe it's the first waypoint just being awkward. Nope. Yeah, I think it's lane 2 over here. Wait. No, that's 2 and 4.
2.
1 and 4. 0 and 4. These guys just aren't moving.
Alright.
Are they too close? Everybody else is moving just fine, and that other group is even closer.
No, that's not it. I think it's probably has to do something in your loop there.
You think? All right, let's bring the
Yeah,
loop back over.
let's see.
Let's print out.
Because it's the information coming out of that array element right there
Yep.
on the right that's not
Yep.
populating properly.
So let's go ahead and we're gonna get, and then we're gonna print out all of our lane lengths.
This is the most manual debugging. Print all the strings.
Well, we need to know their values. I mean, yeah, we just need to know the values. Print string, and then we're just gonna do a big ol' append. And we need 5 slots. Basically, comma space,
Mm-hmm.
comma space, compile, clear log, play, shift F1, pause. We are getting array out of bounds. Oh, we're getting 5, 5, 5 across the board.
Huh.
So, okay, we're getting 5, 5, 5 across the board. Lanes are correctly numbered to request 1, 2, or 3. Or 0, 1, or 2, pardon. This is firing off. Okay, fine. Print. Now, I don't need to do this. If they're not moving and we're getting an access none, compile, play, shift F1, pause, no debug, MOBA, null.
No.
So
Whoa.
we are
Why does
getting-
that one have stuff?
Well, these are being set correctly for some reason.
Oh. So is it
Lane 2
only
over here.
Lane 2. But all the other arrays are okay though, right? Like
Yeah,
check
but
those.
lane 2.
And the first part
But
of
what's
lane
funny
2.
is that this one's being set correctly.
So
But
that's bizarre because
but
it's the
that
same
number-
information.
Right, because the lane should be returning 2. Waypoint number should be returning. I mean, this is 5 on
Mm-hmm.
when this is lane 2. We can do this. Break. Pardon. We'll do a print.
It's like at this point we know what it is. It's just
Yeah,
that's
just
very
why.
odd. Yeah.
Compile. Play.
Breaks.
Okay, so we're gonna break there. So we've dropped everything down to where it should be. A lot of this stuff probably isn't going to display. We have a current value of 5. What does that say?
Variable not in scope.
Okay, and our final result is 0.
So whatever that is isn't in scope, but that should be.
But if we're getting 0, that means
Where's that coming from? Is it waypoint
this
number?
the waypoint number should be 5. Okay. Okay, let's resume. It'll break again. This should see 1. Oh, -1.
Oh. Well, what's the B value of that minus? Oh wait. Equals
Current value of
-1
-1.
minus
Current value of 0.
Oh.
Our lane is not in scope, but our waypoint, it is a for each of our get all actors of class waypoint. Okay, let's stop this really quick. So this is lane 2. Back up here. This should be lane 2, I believe. Okay, lane 2, waypoint. So 2, 1, 2, 0, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4. There is no reason for that, as far as I can tell.
Can we go back over really fast to where we're getting the initial
Counts?
array? Yeah, keep going to the left. Keep going to the left. See there, we're getting all actors of class. When does
Mhm.
that thing kick off?
What do you mean?
This is kicked off by begin play.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So begin play. Get all actors of class.
So all the waypoints are placed.
Yeah, I know. I'm just reading through everything. We get all actors of class.
I'm resizing the
We-
array to fit 2, so clearing then resizing. And then we need 3 indices, so 0, 1, 2. Unless this needs to be 3? I can't remember. I mean, we're getting 5s across the board. Resume. Oh, no, that looks right. Okay, hold on. Looks like it was potentially Ian's brain not being right.
So-
Resize
so
the array.
That's why you got to start at the beginning and go read it like a sentence and see if there's like something in between there sometimes.
We got lines across the board. Yep, it was just Ian not resizing. Oh, yay!
Can we get something special for that, Shelly? little something something.
Let me see what I have.
Okay, she's digging something
She
up.
gotta dig something up.
No, I can just do an explosion. 'cause I-
There we go.
Explosions always work.
Boom.
All right.
Good work. Ian discovered it was
Okay.
Ian
Yeah,
all
Ian
along.
just being Ian. It's like resize array. Well, obviously, I want to resize it to 2. No, you want to resize it to 3.
So yes. To
How many
explain-
buckets do you want to go into? Not the last indice of the resize.
Correct. So there you go. And now they are passing each other and going, look at that. That was some Space Jam. Thank you, Shelly. So
Alrighty.
I'm
So
gonna just take my hand and put it on top of my face for a
yeah,
minute
and
here.
just cry a little inside. It's okay.
I'm crying.
It's okay.
I'm actually crying a little.
All right.
That might actually just be allergies, though.
Okay. So just to recap, what Ian did wrong. Resize array is not final indice. It's how many buckets you want in the array, how many slots you want in the array, however you want to put it, right? So, yep, my bad.
Okay, so
So somewhere mentally along the line, I thought that was right.
okay,
But-
cool. Can we comment on those and just start putting some comments in here so that we can look at it more
Sure.
easily?
Sure.
Okay.
Sorry, moving it over. Gosh, Ian.
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 This is not your for sure yet.
Yeah, I know.
This
Right?
is it's good.
Little out of it. That's all. All right, here we go. So this is for our waypoints in lane. We're going to count them. And then we can get rid of this chunk. Oh, debug.
Don't forget to reconnect that.
I'm working on it.
I'm just planning for Ian brain.
Come on, man.
That's what we're
I'm
calling
actually
it.
I'm on. The problem is I think I'm already one step ahead. I'm sitting here thinking about the next thing we're going to talk about. And I'm really kind of excited about it. All right, so this is setting our waypoint arrays.
See, now that they're all in little happy boxes, it's not so intimidating because this is just a bunch of setting using some array. And then up here
Nobody can
is-
see your hand. I'm just
Okay, yeah, well, I was on
no.
minicam for a minute
there
there.
was no minicam down
But
there.
yeah, so this is great. It's really useful if we actually put them into the
Yes. No, I
random
get you.
places.
No, you're absolutely right. And then what was this section down here? This is actually handles minion spawning.
Okay, that's the actual spawning.
Yep.
And that's where the actual spawn actor.
Minion spawns. Actually, what does this really do? Technically speaking, this is
No,
it's
that's-
two things, right? It's
Hmm. Well, that's the spawn trigger is up there.
Yeah.
But down here is where we actually do the spawning and have the actual spawn blueprint
Right,
node
and
and all the
then-
blueprint info that we feed in for the spawn.
yeah, and one of these is like a spawn minion wave, and the other one is because there's waves and then there's individual minions that we spawn. So
Yes.
it ends up being a little awkward.
And that's what the in value there is and all that.
Yep.
All right.
All right, because that's why there's this weird double timer
Yeah.
madness.
Because one of them is spawn waves, the other is spawn within waves.
Yep.
So that's why we have the two layers.
We got no questions so far? Or are they answering themselves?
I've thrown it out there, but nobody's put anything. Remember, you can put anything. Just put the in brackets question beforehand. I'll
Yep.
throw it out there again in chat. But
Okay, so before we jump on to this is really what I want to get done for the the minions here today. We can talk a little bit theoretically about what we'll talk about next time specifically for this project before we get into some of the more one-off handy AI tricks that I've been digging around with. So for theory, what we're going to do next time is set up murder, which is actually really easy.
Oh yeah, the attacking. We're calling it murder.
Murder. What we do is we have a target actor we want to move to. So we just need to figure out, are we close enough to something that is murderable, and then move to that. So we're going to...
Can we make that a Boolean? Is murderable?
Is murder... Sure. Oh, we can make it an interface.
Well, that's true.
So then it can just be anything that has this interface is murderable.
That actually makes sense, is to make an interface for... Well, that's what... Mine are called is living, but
is living?
You can always do the inverse of is killable. Anything that's aliveable can be deadable.
Well, what if... Would you count a vampire as living?
They're animated. I don't know.
All right. Fair enough.
But yeah, I think that it would make sense to use it as an interface if we wanted to have different types of actors and not have to worry about subclassing them off of a minion even. And then that way you can have things that are murderable, that are like scout wards or other kinds of wards and stuff that you put up like you would in a MOBA. And then you could have...
Maybe it should be is minion murderable. Or
like,
murderable by minion.
Yeah, because maybe you want a game where your minions do attack the scout wards.
Shelly's just shaking her head. Like, you guys.
Shaking my head.
But what we'll do is next time what we'll do is we'll plug into perception, and we'll get them seeing each other, and then once they're within range and perceiving each other, we'll have them kill each other.
Okay.
By simply switching their target, and what will happen is they'll run into each other, and they'll sit there and they'll stare at each other, and then we'll have them do damage and blow each other up. So that'll be next time for the minion stuff. Now, we're not done with the stream. We're going to talk about real quick is another project here.
Yeah, and we did get a question about, can we explain a bit more about simple parallel and what it does, which...
Oh, simple parallel?
Yeah, if we dig into the...
Let's go back real quick then. Apparently I've opened this project...
Twice? Yes.
Okay, simple parallel. So what does a simple parallel do?
Because we will be using it for this, right there. That's a simple parallel.
Yep, I love simple parallels. So what a simple parallel does. So you have it inputs, and then you have this purple node, which executes a single task. And it does this task until it completes that task. But then the gray connection over here, you can have branch off to a whole nother section of the tree. You can have as many sequences and selectors. A whole bunch of decision-making processes can be going on down here. We can set up some tasks to do stuff. You probably don't want to interfere with, your main task. But let's say we have a play sound, so we have a sequence. Either this happens or this happens. And we'll do, I don't know, we'll do a wait. Waits are easy. If the wait for whatever reason fails, which will never fail, imagine this is something that can fail. So this will run just like the tree is running, but only while this is executing. Now this gets kind of, I don't know, interesting, weird, however you want to put it. If we were to watch this in action, what you see is,
Oh, he's trying to move and wait at the same time, so he's just going to end up in an infinite loop.
Nope, he's moving.
Oh.
So his brain is processing this chunk down here. His legs are moving. So his brain is just like, oh man, those flowers? Those flowers are pretty cool. I like flowers. I like my other minion buddies. They're pretty cool. Whatever, he's just grinding on whatever he's grinding. And then every once in a while he'll make a sound. He'll never make a sound because it's a wait node. But, whatever. It's like, imagine the wait node could fail here and he'd be like, he decides to play a sound. Now, to use this correctly, you can't just have a node that just fires.
Okay.
Well, you can, but you have to set the simple parallel node to allow the rest of the tree to finish. So you could do play sound and then do a delayed fire, which should potentially allow this to complete. I wouldn't trust it. But something like move to holds on to it.
Yeah, so that when being immediate, it will cut off the other task immediately once it's done with the first task as well.
Exactly.
Got it. While
now,
the delayed will wait to follow up with everything else that's in the loop.
Exactly. It'll wait till it can figure out, it calculates its way through that loop. Now, you're making your own blueprint nodes.
I learned something new.
Yeah,
today.
you're making your own task nodes. How do you use this or abuse this? So let's go ahead and I don't have a new task folder, so folder, no.
That's not
no,
a folder at all.
It's not a folder at all. New C++, it looks like a little folder. Okay, new folder,
New C++ not folder.
tasks. And we'll
You start
come
adding C++
here.
in here, we have to grab Lauren and drag her into the stream, and then
I
she'll be like,
can. She's listening right now, but I can totally add a class.
she's totally watching, and she'll.
Totally out of class.
Judging you so hard.
She's judging me so
She's
hard.
sitting there like,
Um,
Ian sat there that whole time, and one number was wrong.
One number. I'm never gonna live that one down. Okay, so we need a BT task blueprint base. So we're gonna select that. We're gonna call it. I don't know. It really doesn't matter what we call this. We'll call this test task that holds XC. So we're going to come in and we're going to be like, override our functions. We need our override execute AI. So we're going to need, so how you finish these off is there's a finish execute and there is a finish abort. I'm sure there is a slight difference between these. Finish abort, I think, returns why it's failing out, whereas you can succeed or fail a finish execute. So this is like, hey, I did everything you wanted me to do, and I either did it or I didn't do it, right? Whereas finish abort is just, I don't know what's going on, we're out of here. So it probably returns something slightly different, but you can use either one of these. But if we look at finish execute, if we never execute this, let's just say we print. We're just going to print string right here. It's going to print hello. That's all this node is going to do. And we go over to. Go ahead.
You need to go back to the task. You got to finish the task.
No, I don't.
It'll just continue running forever. Then.
That's the point.
Oh, sorry. I thought maybe.
That's the point, bro. So we go to our Minion AI. And we disconnect our move to, and we put in our task of you're right there with me, man. But you're just one step too far ahead.
I gotcha.
So we save and we execute, and Shift F1. Oh man, we're holding it.
No.
Oh no, now we'll never be able to leave this because we will never finish executing that task.
Yep.
So what this allows us to do, of course, is now we can. Well, here, let's undo that. We'll bring this back in. And what we'll do is we could do, I don't know, we could do a delay, right? This could be just a timer where we could slap this in between here and here. And if we do a delay of 2 seconds, compile, save that, Minion AI, play.
It's just going to fail.
It's going to sit there. And we should get a flash eventually. Or did it flash?
Flash.
It may not actually be flashing. No, we're not getting the flash. Why are we not getting the flash? Well, let's find out. Duration 2, finish execute. Ooh, nothing is actually running this? That doesn't make sense. Resume. Oh, did it just flash?
And it's flashing so fast you can't even see it.
It might. Well, it might be that there's nothing else to go to. Yeah, let's do that. Hold on. Okay, we'll do this right. This is a sequence. This should succeed. Oh no, this is failing.
Yeah, it's going to fail repeatedly because you
let's-
don't have it checked on.
Okay, that's fine. It
I
does.
mean-
In this case, it doesn't matter. We can have it succeed or fail, and then we'll have a wait that we jump onto of 1 second, just so we can actually see it in action. So we hit play.
Choose your debug target. Oh, there you go.
We have to wait for them to spawn. Then
Boop.
we wait.
There you go.
Then we wait. And then we wait. Okay.
Cool.
Now we could do something else here. Instead of we're just doing a delay. Delay's not fun. You can actually execute off of a tick. So you can receive tick AI. And so you can have it now, I don't know, we can print hello every tick. and then you could do your own manual counter here, or you could be checking something every tick.
Yep.
Or whatever you want it to do. Whatever you want this to do, you could have it operate in here. You could gate this. You can do this whole 9 yards thing where you can get this going on.
Yeah.
And then finally you get to the end and you're like, yep, something happened. Hooray! And then it releases execution. That's how you might build something for your own simple parallel nodes. So let's go back to our Minion AI. Let's reconnect this back up. And I'm going to Control S, because always Control S. And we are going to minimize all of this stuff. And I'm going to bring up another project I have here. So this is a little bit of a project I have going on. I guess kind of doing a bunch of testing stuff for a bunch of really other weird stuff that I want to problem solve. Like I have dialogue stuff down here. This is like also like one of my documentation projects.
Oh gosh, this would be the best MOBA ever, where they walk up to each other and they just like they work it out between the minions.
Oh yeah. The minions are just like, we should have a dialogue, good sir.
So
I agree.
I built an entire civilization over here. I as well have built an entire civilization. These heroes are pretty mean.
These heroes are pretty mean. We should turn on them. Yes, we should.
That's why the MOBAs can't be allowed to work together.
That's why they can't be allowed to work together. Okay, so this is a personal project. Use it a bit for documentation. There's nothing really crazy in this. Nothing that I haven't built on the stream like 1,000 times. Currently struggling with the joy that is the mouse locked window thing, because I'd like to be able to click on my guys. So.
Oh, cool, pathing.
Yep, what I'm going to show you, one, this is a fun little debug tool. It's a quick, easy macro that we're going to go ahead and build, but it just shows you where your guy's going to path to when I click, and then it goes right. He just glides along. There's no animation, but it's super useful in helping you figure out one, how is my guy going to get to point A to point B?
Are we just not going to point out that you are currently a block?
You're currently a block.
You're a block.
Oh yeah, because that's my pawn.
Oh, okay. I was not sure.
Yeah, my pawn is just like, it's so I can see where I am in the world.
Gotcha.
So it'll show you how he's going to path over to things, and you can see how path finding is, sometimes really interesting, sometimes really weird, trying to figure stuff out, and then, oh, nope, can't path there. We're showing our cost of path and the path length over there. And you can get into some really interesting situations. So let's move this guy over here. And if we come to like the other side of one of these bricks, and we start flipping back and forth, it's kind of hard to see, but I currently have the grid tuned for Navmesh so that these are pretty accurate, but it's also more expensive. So cost comparatively to length, like either one of these paths will be pretty good. Let's go recast, or to our recast volume for our Navmesh. Let's go ahead and futz with some of these numbers here. So our tile size UU is 560, but I also have one of these guys down here. Region chunk splits of 8. Let's take that back to, I think the default is 2. Rebuilds the navigation. Actually, I think the default is 1. Yeah, that looks better. And you can see how the Navmesh got rebuilt. So, I don't know, maybe 3-4 streams ago, I was talking about how the talking to Mieszko about a problem I was having in this project, about how cost versus length wasn't adding up a lot of the time. So our total path length over here is 937. Our cost is 1550. If I move over here, it's 883, cost of 1246. So there is a definite shorter path here, which I would like him to take, because what if I'm making a game where distance is key?
Oh, yeah, like your movement of distance is actually what your movement is based off of. Yeah.
Right. So cost here is equal because of our cost here is really different, but the length is also mildly different.
Yeah.
But it's still thinking one is better than the other because pathfinding, hooray! The reason it does that is if, let's see, now we'll just do don't need that. We'll turn, let's see if it'll allow me to do this. There we go. Give me Navmesh. And if we click our dude here, it's really hard to see the line now. But you see how the line like cuts through these triangles? The way it calculates cost is actually from the center. Or one of the two is either length or cost is calculated from the center of these triangles. It's not counted from just like, oh yeah, totally, I worked my way around this, and so the line is of the appropriate length that you were looking for. So you can get around this by doing what I was doing, which is I was like, no, I need accuracy, so I'm going to increase my region chunks. And since my idea was a turn-based game anyway, I really don't care about how expensive clicking one dude and calculating every second, you know, how he's going to move. But I get much more accurate numbers based off the grid. And he will, instead of trying to go, there are times when he would actually try to go all the way around this block, right, to get to the other side. But by decreasing those chunks, he actually makes some smarter decisions about life in general. But anyway, so let's look at our little line here. And we'll let's rebuild this. This is not crazy. It is one of my favorite nodes in Blueprint. Well, two of my favorite nodes. So
You heard it here. It was made with 2 nodes.
no, what? You guys. Okay, so we need to. I believe these are on these guys as controllers. And okay, we're in there. Scroll down. CON. This is world settings. We don't need world settings. CON. Oop, pardon. AI icon. Let's crack this open. No. Oh man, it's actually on the pawn. Okay. Well, that makes it even better, I guess. No, it's not on the pawn. It's not on the AI pawn. It's on my pawn. Or my controller, pardon. Okay, so there's nothing. This looks bad. It's
Oh, I
really
love the lack of comments,
Hey,
Ian.
they're commented. This is your left mouse. This is your right mouse. Oh, you have something for the Shelly? That's not spaghetti. Look, it's reasonably well. You guys are so mean to me.
It's all right.
You guys are so mean to me.
Okay. It's okay. Everything's fine. I'm okay with this.
Okay, look, guys. All right, so without getting too deep into this is left mouse functionality, right mouse functionality. There is a tick pass through over here for left mouse tick, right mouse tick, for dealing with how long you're holding the left and the right mouse button through a gate or whatever. So if a left mouse click is detected, so it's not left click and hold or not right click and hold, it can select a unit, and then when it selects a unit, if it happens to select a unit, it sets a timer by event.
Gotcha.
And that's what this red line up here goes to, which is what we're going to be talking about. And the 2 nodes that I really, really, really like these days are find path to location synchronously and draw debug line.
Mm-hmm.
Draw debug line, I used to use traces, but they have a little bit of an overhead if they hit anything or if they don't hit anything because they're trying to hit things.
Gotcha.
Whereas the draw debug line just simply throws down, right? Just like, there's the line, it's in the world, it's great. And
Oh, I see.
yeah, so what are we doing here? So on our debug path, we have our stored AI controller, which we've gotten on left mouse click. So we've selected our dude has returned his controller, and we're getting his move status. If his move status is idle, we're going to go ahead and say, cool, let's find his path synchronously. What path do we want to find? Well, we want to start at the pawn's location, and we want to go to basically where the kisser. Oh my. The kisser is targeting in the world. So it's just tracing into the world. We're getting that hit location traced by visibility, and we're returning that. And then we're saying, hey, AI controller, why don't you tell me where that is? And at that point, because of the return values here, it's giving me path length, path cost, and path points. I'm doing a debug string out, so I mean, this bit right here, we could totally get rid of, and it wouldn't spam the screen anymore. Actually, I have a very simple don't show these kind of things macro. And then we just do a for loop getting the locations. We do a +1 to those.
Mm-hmm.
So we get 2, so we get the first one and we get the one after it. And then we say, cool, draw me a line between those 2 locations in the path.
Okay.
I mean, that's all it's doing.
That's it.
That's it.
Okay.
And infinitely useful.
Yeah, that's really not complicated, even though you've, spaghettied it a little. But, it's very good. It's just going to give you a hard time for that.
I'm going to be given crap about this for fine. Collapse nodes.
There we go.
We'll just have this be a collapse graph. We'll call this debug print. Debug print.
Yeah, so remember, you can collapse your graphs down to save yourself some headache. If it's just going to have one little function wrapped up in something, just do it to save yourself time.
Yep.
And headache.
And apparently Alexander breathing down your neck. That you're not doing it.
I will breathe straight down your neck, personally.
He will find you.
And if you submit a marketplace asset that it looks like this, then Katatis will breathe down your neck. And yes, we have plenty of people that don't like spaghetti here.
Gotcha. All right. Well, whatever. So
I know you like spaghetti, Clint. Nobody asked you.
yeah, and I believe so. And you actually have find path to actor synchronously or find path to location synchronously. The reason it's called synchronously, of course, is because it does it immediately. It doesn't sit there and wait for the next frame, or as long as it wants to do.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, two of my favorite little nodes here. And so now the problem is, I guess you want to call it a problem. This works for me because I have it set up in such a fashion that it's getting my controller from my selected pawn, from all of this stuff, right? If you want, we can walk through this and we can create a macro and have it call from, I don't know, the controller, and give it an endpoint location that could be just given. I mean, that seems like the best way to do it, the most universal.
Okay. I don't see why not. If it's really easy to just convert it into a macro.
Technically.
For simplicity's sake.
For simplicity's sake, it's still going to require a controller, an AI controller specifically.
So that has to be
But
an
that's
input.
okay. But that's okay. No, it doesn't have to be an input.
Oh, okay. Or you can just have it get the AI controller or whatever.
Oh no, bro.
Macros in. Oh, okay.
Come on.
All right. I'm just gonna.
No, we're gonna create a macro library,
Okay. Yeah.
which has to inherit from a class,
Such
such as an AI controller.
So it's gonna automatically have.
We're gonna have.
It's gonna be.
Now we could do it specifically for
an
my
AI
project by
controller,
doing my AI controller, or my player controller, or whatever. But it requires an AI controller.
Okay.
Absolutely. So we'll just. That's the biggest thing that's required. That allows us to get our pawn, so we can get our pawn location. The only thing that won't give us is where we want to actually target. But that's okay. We'll be able to give it that. So I'm going to select this, and we'll call this our AI con macros.
Okay, we're getting some questions about AI and stuff, but
Okay.
we can finish up with this thought, and then we'll get these.
Okay. We can definitely answer those questions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we have our macro. We'll call this draw debug path ing, something like that. And I'm pretty sure the only input we're going to need is a vector
From.
where we want to go.
Oh, okay.
So this would be, target location.
All right.
All right. And then the rest of it, we can actually just kind of copy out of here. So we need that. We're going to need that. That's where everything's going to come from. Our debug stuff we're not going to need. That's going to be okay to have. And the rest of this is going to be okay to have. Oh, that's not. We don't need that. The duration is based off of how long my tick goes.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll just make this a little bit longer. And we'll come over here, we'll paste this in.
The best thing about blueprints, copy, paste.
Copy, paste. And we need an execution on this. Forgot about the execution.
Oh yeah, it's a macro instead of a function, so.
Yep. Need execution.
Yep.
Let's move that up. We'll call
Which
it.
does raise the question why we didn't add this into. I guess it needs to be added to the library. Of
What's that?
macros, but why it's a macro and not a function?
Could be either.
It's 6 one way, half a dozen in the other.
Right.
50-50.
So
Half and half.
the way that I like to think about it is if I need. It's kind of like how variables can get parsed out to actual data, right? Like you put variable name here, but the variable is equal to 10. Does the computer see the variable name or 10? It cares about the 10. So if you parse it out, it's really just 10. So macros parse better, I think. So it's sort of like just inserting a graph into your graph, whereas functions have like their own existence where things can happen in the corner and shady things and then everything dies. Like no joke, like the function ends and like all the data's gone.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
Whereas macros can continue to operate within it. Like if we had inherited this macro or the function library for that matter from my class, I would have access to all those variables.
I love the narrative that you've drawn around
Around functions.
Around
How they're so
functions.
shady.
Yeah, it's like
The
their life in the village of computer programs and functions.
Murder. All right, so we need to get ourself as a controller, as an AI controller. So that's going to plug in right here. And we'll get our, I believe it's controlled pawn, which will get us our location. Like so. And then
There's a thing that's disconnected right there. Do you think that's bad, Ian?
you know what, Alexander? You're being a big jerk. You are. Just saying. Just for that, I'm gonna do something like this. I'm gonna hurt you. I'm going to hurt you. Yeah, that's right. I'm kidding.
So much crossover that shouldn't be there.
So we'll come back there.
All right, cool.
And our pathfinding context needs to be self again. So we'll just connect that down to there. And output just in case. We'll add an exe out.
Yep.
And we'll do off of completed here. Now the duration for this, we're going to set to, I don't know, we're going to have some fun with this. We're going to set to 5.
I am your personal Clippy, apparently.
Oh,
I love that.
I see you're trying to do something in Unreal.
I
You
need
should
to
stop.
You know, I was talking to somebody about how great would it be to have someone doing extending the editor and then kind of thing, and then add in Clippy or
Adding
some sort of a
Think we
game
could-
dev helper.
I think we could get Michael Nolan to do that.
Because it would just be so useful. It's like, did you remember to change the variable type? Like, oh right.
Did you remember to compile and then set the value of one of the defaults for your variables?
Did you just name the name variable but forget to set the actual name text? Oh, I would love it.
Did you attempt to resize an array and use the last index as a... Shut up, Alexander.
I just come in, the first question is like, are you Ian Shadden?
It just closes.
just
I quit.
no.
I quit. I'm out. Okay, and now we should be able to see this macro. What do we call our macro? Draw debug pathing. So we should be able to come in here. Let's compile real quick. Draw debug. Come on now. Where are we at? Debug pat. Ooh, hello. We're not showing here. Why are we not showing? Oh, because this is a player controller. So we need to pull off of here. Draw Wow, it's not there either. Stored AI controller. You should be able to call this from a reference thereof of one of these things, right?
What?
All right.
well,
Maybe that's why I'm supposed to use functions. Let's do AI controller. Right click. And we'll do draw, debug, pathing, like so.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is just being really awkward, but I'm gonna roll with it. We'll do an event. Custom event. Spell custom correctly. Fire pathing. Requires a vector. Bloop. Bloop. Location. In. Control S. Compile. Control S. Come back here. Fire. Am I wrong? Is this not the one we are using? What type are you? Oh. Oh. Well, fine. Wait, I shouldn't have to do that.
No, you shouldn't.
Oh yeah, I do, because I need the event.
Well,
Yeah. It's okay.
Oh, because it's just a stored controller instead of
Yeah, it's
the
just a
actual
stored
AI
AI
controller that you've
Yep.
designated. Gotcha.
Yep.
I thought that there was the specific class of AI con.
Nope.
And now you have to reconnect your execution.
Nope.
No. Oh, right, because
Because
this time you're right. You don't have to.
That's right. I don't have to do that.
Fine.
You're not the boss of me.
Fine. There we go.
So now we just needed that final target location.
Right.
So our macro should take in that location. Great, great, great. This should take it in there. All right. Now this should be terrifyingly awesome. Because I didn't sync the times.
Oh.
Yeah.
So now it's just gonna draw forever, and you didn't put a limit on how long it draws for.
5 seconds.
Oh, so
So we can create some really fun art.
yeah, this is nice.
You can kind of get a. Actually, I was debugging with it like this for a while
That's actually really cool.
because it's kind of handy to be like,
Yeah.
okay, so
See all those potential
is
paths.
it really, and where is it getting weird? Like
Yeah.
you can kind of see.
So
Very
as long
lots
as we're
about-
kind of looking at this, the question that we did get
Uh-huh.
about this is what is the best method for avoidance so AI doesn't hug walls and avoids other AI pawns and NPCs? And there is actually
There is a thing for
a
that.
class even, but there's
Yep.
also options in here. But there's a class for crowd
Yep.
AI, right?
Let's go ahead and look at the crowd.
Yep.
So I'm going to take my AI controller here. I'm just going to reparent the blueprint to just look up crowd. Detour crowd AI controller.
Okay.
So
Cool. Nice.
here, or you can. Sorry, I'm not sure which way you want to create this.
No, that's
There's
I
an
like
AI
it.
controller.
Yeah, you can
if
do
you
it that
if
way.
you if you come into here,
That's
Dratour.
that's not it.
Detour. Okay.
There you go.
Detour AI crowd
Yep.
controller. Okay. Either one of these is fine. Here, we'll crack open the new one so it's clean.
Yeah, it's
Now-
pretty bare bones.
Pretty bare bones. Nothing interesting here. It has every functionality that your AI controller has, plus it has a bunch of detour stuff.
Yep. So basically, when you tell an AI that's using this controller to move from point A to point B, it has much more of these.
It has some stuff.
Yeah, it has some options, but more interestingly, it'll just naturally go to. You might have to go to the project settings, right?
Well,
Or did they add it to here?
I thought there was still avoidance. There we go.
Oh, there it is. You're right. Avoidance.
Well, okay, so there's avoidance group, groups to avoid. So avoidance group, it's a part of group 0.
Yeah, so
It
this
wants
is,
to
this is
avoid
like your
groups.
collision channels.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you're part of group 0, you want to avoid everyone from all the other groups.
Or ignore groups.
Yep.
Because there's some. So this is just for this specific AI and the things that he's going to handle with set avoidance.
Yeah, but a lot of this is just kind of by default works. Once
Yep.
you throw it into this, now you're going to want to tweak, of course, and that's when we're getting into the actual project settings
Yep.
for
so
crowd management.
project crowd manager.
I love this. It's such a good feature.
There's a lot of really crazy stuff in here.
Many places you can tweak.
Yep. So I believe since we just decided to change things right off, let's. Oh wow, that's actually docked there. I believe our guys here will exhibit a slightly different behavior.
They're using the.
No, I swapped their controller.
All right.
They should. No, they're not going to do it. Yeah, I need to. There's a way to get them to show.
Oh, show the
general.
actual.
Well, it's so when I was doing some of the AI stuff for Bullet Train, I believe I actually tried using Detour Crowd at the start.
Mm-hmm.
The problem ends up being is that when you want them to get close to a surface, they kind of freaked out at the time, and it looks like it's been fixed. So that's awesome.
Yeah.
Because before what would happen is they would decelerate like a lot before getting there, and they're no longer doing that. So, hey, that's the only thing that I had an issue with. If that's fixed, that's awesome. So I don't know what all these do. We'd probably have to have Mieszko or Łukasz on to talk about these.
Mm-hmm.
But essentially, it's various bits of how we change, how quickly we're approaching something we want to avoid, how do we bias away from them, and things along those lines. This, by the way, Detour can be expensive.
Yeah,
Depends on what you
that's
want to
another
do.
thing to take into consideration is that when you're using Detour, it's adding more overhead to it. And can we just pop open the avoidance group thing one more time?
What, this thing?
Yeah, we got a question about it. So to explain this one, to explain again, so you set this per AI controller.
Yeah.
So the avoidance group here, like if this is AI controller and I want this to be group 0, this is bad guy type whatever big dude. So big dude, he doesn't want to run into other big dudes, but he'll run right over smaller guys. So his avoidance group is group 0, but then when we collapse that, we can say groups to avoid, and then we could just uncheck everything except other group 0s.
Right. So
and
these
then
would be your
say
smaller
like
groups.
you only care about not running into your own people.
And then groups to ignore, we could turn on the ones that we absolutely just don't care about.
Yeah, so this is per AI class, controller class. So the other AI controller you would apply to different minion types, whatever.
Mhm.
So you have like smaller ones, and they'll run into whoever, and they'll avoid as many things as possible, etc. So per controller, and then you do it just like you would collision channels. You set up what collision channels I am of, and then what collision channels I will collide with, kind of thing. So.
Yep. And then the other thing we could talk about, which I believe is on the character movement control component, is RVO. Honestly, I have no idea what RVO stands for.
Oh, I used to. Yeah, pan over, just hover over it for a second. Maybe Mieszko left in a good note.
Nope.
Nope.
Darn. Actually, apparently Richard wrote a chunk of this. Richard Hinckley, the guy who does the tank stream.
Yeah.
He apparently wrote a chunk of this. Maybe he could yell at Lauren if Lauren is still watching the stream and tell us what RVO stands for. I don't know. RVO changes the way that two moving pawns will kind of move at each other. Essentially, they will always like go left. Like, yeah, you can see, you can kind of have fun with Detour automatically. It's like, oh geez.
Yeah, he's gonna. Whoa.
Yeah, let's make this.
Don't get near me.
Let's make this huge so I can actually see what's going on too.
Yeah, but the lines, of course, are still going to draw the shortest distance, even if you have that, because it's. Oh, see.
Well, it's because this is where pathfinding is telling him to go, and in fact,
Yeah.
you can tell pathfinding. These guys are set to never affect.
Yeah.
So they're not going to screw with the nav.
But you see him like trying to get.
I gotta-
But you clicked in too close. It's within his avoidance radius of 100.
Yeah.
So if we had gone back to the project settings, and you're going to keep freaking him out when you do that. So
Yeah, it's awesome.
Ian is intentionally messing this one up to show
Yes,
you what it
I
looks
am.
like. So just to explain what's going on here, the reason he's doing this kind of weird jig is because he's trying to do the avoidance. And if we go back to our project settings,
Let's see,
you
do I
wanna-
still have that open? I do not. So let's just add it. project settings.
Cool. And if we go back over to our crowd management and we do avoidance, you can see there is down there at the bottom max agent radius and all that. And so that's like the avoidance radius.
Yeah, I think they're 48, so if we did like 50.
Yeah, so their actual capsule size is, like 48 in diameter. And so this way, you can get a little closer if you change that number. But if you want them to avoid farther out, you just change that number to make it larger. So you guys just play around with those settings until you like the way that they're moving. And so, yeah, he's trying to get him to path into that zone, and so he's trying to avoid that zone. And so he's doing
this
some
also,
weird stuff.
we might also be seeing RVO fight with
Oh,
crowd.
that as well.
Um,
You might want to turn that
yeah,
off
let's
so
go.
we're not messing with it too much.
I'm just going to turn that off screen here. I think I'm going to turn it. No, it's on the component.
Ian over here with the checkbox.
I said I was going to turn it off screen. There we
All
go.
right, so off screen he did that. So hopefully this
So-
will show us a little bit better.
Yeah.
And he's gonna see
See,
now
he's
he
not
can get close now. The
He's not
RVO isn't freaking
RVO
him
is
out.
not trying to make him turn left.
Yeah. But yeah, he's able to get in closer now as well.
Hey everybody, what's going on over here? I'm just gonna.
Is this Cool Kids Club?
Yeah, is it cool if I get this close? How about now? Is this okay?
What's your personal space?
Look, this guy's like, sorry guys, gotta go.
It's
Get
actually kind of neat. It's if you ever play tactical games and you've seen them come up with like the generated paths and you've gotten frustrated with it. Now you can be on the other end of that and create your own better pathing system for your tactics game.
Yep.
There you go.
So, do we have any other questions? No other questions, you guys.
Oh, let's see here. Oh, yeah, that's more of a bug question. Yeah, if you have any more questions, just keep popping them in chat. I'm trying to gather all the things. But yeah, so you wanted to cover.
Well, it's 3:07.
Oh, it's 3:07. We don't have enough time to get into the interaction stuff we were thinking about getting into.
No, and quite honestly, I'll go ahead and I'll actually make a full project that for next time.
Okay.
So that way.
But yeah, for getting into the actual them meeting with each other and doing combat or some sort of actual interaction.
Yeah.
That's.
I'm kind of curious. What's in this?
You scare me when you're like, oh, there's a weird mysterious map file here. It's labeled Polybius. We should play it. Everything will be okay.
I don't get the reference.
Polybius, it's a fabled game that if you play it, it will make you go insane, and it's like lost to time, and there was only ever one arcade cabinet made, and it got lost in Ohio or something.
Ah.
It's a lore myth.
Oh, this is the, oh, well, this was the modifications I was making to my map generator.
Oh, okay.
So.
All right, cool.
Yeah.
So, I guess that's it for this time.
Yeah.
Okay, well, then next time we'll be seeing you all. Do we have a plan for next Tuesday?
Next Tuesday should be Sam is out. It'll be Wes and Ryan Brooks, potentially myself.
Cool, Ryan Brooks.
Ryan Brooks has created something in VR. And so, I'm not entirely sure. So, I think it's better to leave it as fun surprise. So
this is like the Alan Willard hour where he won't tell us what it is. And
well,
then
I kind of know
we
what it
just
is,
put
but I want to see how this has been on Sam and Wes to kind of build what they're building and do what they're doing. So I've just kind of been like the facilitator, like, yeah, just go talk to Ryan. He's got some fun stuff, and we'll see what they have. The week after that, we'll have Lauren and Richard on. They'll be doing tanks part 5,
because
7,
they did
20.
Because they have to add in the they've added in the ability to shoot. Now they have to have the bullets hit the zombies and kill them dead.
I thought they did do that. Whatever. They're going to be on, and then we'll have one of the technical artists on after that.
Okay.
So it's either going to be Alan Willard or Alan Noon. We're not sure yet. We haven't nailed them down.
Cool.
So,
and then
but that's what we have. And what you got going on Thursday?
So Thursday we are working on some more sequencer stuff. I am going to be having Michael Gay come back on from the previous sequencer stream that you remember, and I believe also Grayson Edge. And we're going to show off some of the things that will be coming for 4.13 upgrades of sequencer and all the stuff that we were talking about a few times ago, or we were talking about, hey, a lot of cool stuff's coming to sequencer. So we'll be showing that off too. So cool.
Slick.
Yeah, sequencer, it's pretty exciting and I really love it. So we'll see you all there. Thank you all for joining us, and I hope you all had a good time.
Yep, take it easy, guys.
See ya.